can see both athletes, that is Kimeli and Simiu, shaping out the field and ensuring that they are in the lead, taking matters into their own hands. And you can see Simiu, just as we predicted, he's decided, let me take this head on.
Yeah, it's all about pushing to the wire and taking the lead. You know, look at those strides, amazing strides from Kibiwot Kandie. And most of the Japan-based athletes like Richard Yator, Bernard Kibet, Richard Etin, and Emmanuel Korin, they are a little bit lagging behind with this. So, I mean, it will be a tough race for them. Also, we're looking at Nicolas Kimeli, who's registered as an individual athlete, you know. So it's going to be a tough between the individual athletes, Japan-based athletes, and athletes who basically coming from the forces like Kenya Prisons and KDF.
And of course, Nicolas Kimeli, a name synonymous with speed, endurance, and remarkable talent, established himself as a prominent figure in the world long-distance running, representing Kenya with honor and leaving a trail of impressive performances in his wake. That is Nicolas Kimeli, currently in second place. But we've talked so much about the national champion, Daniel Simiu, the man from Samburu, the man who used to trek 24 kilometers to school. And of course, the sad story about it, he lost his parent through bandits, and it was really, really a hard time for him. But this is the man we are watching right now, Daniel Simiu, taking matters into his own hand. Kibiwot Kandie has fallen further back into fourth, and of course, I don't think he's going to recover from this one.
There's still time. You know, I think they're going to the 8th lap or the 9th lap right now. So, yeah, I do agree you can create that distance. But again, it's all about your endurance and stamina at the end of the day. So there is an opportunity, maybe he can close the gap, not really playing catch up and catch him up, but say that he can close the gap and try and catch him up. But the earlier the better. The earlier the better. So for Daniel Simiu Ebenyo, I mean, he started it earlier and things are looking good for him right now.
Things are looking good for him right now, but will Nicolas Kimeli rise to the occasion once again and demonstrate his unparalleled speed and tenacity? Let's wait and see as we head into the latter stages of these 10,000 meters. Look at these two athletes. It's been very, very competitive from the start. They've been exchanging the leads, and right now you can feel that they have what it takes to represent Kenya in the World Athletics Championships in in Budapest. A little bit of a hitch there for Kimeli. I think he tripped himself.
Pretty much, but that's expected, you know. Depend with the course, depend with the focus, and also the pace, you know. But we've seen athletes actually falling down, waking up, and still coming to win races. It's a little bit of a hitch, but it's okay. It's normal. In this kind of conditions, I mean, that's expected too.
With 600 meters to go in the 10,000 meters, and you can see it's all about Kimeli and Simiu, who's going to carry the day. Of course, I believe all of them going to meet the qualification time for Budapest. But now it will be about the honors, the bragging rights, who wants it more. And you can look at this one. Everyone, Simiu and Kimeli, each one of them wants the space. Who's going to make it to the wire? With now 350 meters to go.
Yeah, pretty much it's all about pushing right now. And with a lot of fans cheering them up, especially when they come to the center stand. It's about pushing themselves. And with the bell now, we're going to see wonders. We're going to see athletes that are going down. And to me, if you ask me, the front three, they're taking it to the wire.
It's Nicolas Kimeli and Simiu. It's 1 and 2. But what Kibiwot Kandie has fallen way back into fifth. Will he catch up? I don't think so. There's 200 meters to go. This is the final of the 10,000 meters. Nicolas Kimeli coming back to ensure that everything is in his hands. Will he actually do what we've known him to do before? But then watch out for Daniel Simiu. He's trying really hard to ensure that he stays closer to Kimeli. But how will it happen? He has to beat him. It's 150 meters to go, heading to the home stretch. And of course, it is Kimeli or Simiu who will be taking this one home. But then look at Daniel Simiu, the national champion, coming from the outside. Is Kimeli ensuring that he takes this one home? We'll be looking at the time, of course. He's celebrating before he crosses the line. And that is it. Simiu and Kimeli, 1 and 2, 27.20. We'll be confirming the time in a bit. But Nicolas Kimeli claiming this one, and he'll be on the plane to Budapest.
Amazing, amazing. You remember back in 2020 Summer Olympics, he finished in 4th place. And during the 2022 Burasforth Running Festival, Kimeli won the 10-kilometer race with a time of 26 minutes and 51 seconds. I mean, so when he broke the Romanian 10K all-comers record, nearly 2 minutes, and established himself as the 5th fastest 10K runner ever, it's not a surprise that he's won this.
It's not a surprise, Kibiwott Kandiye coming in 4th place, and that has been a very, very, very good race from all these athletes. Nothing much separating them. I think they finished within the 27 minutes, and it's really, really impressive. We'll be seeing whatever comes out of, let's say, the final results. We'll be giving you that in a bit, but brace yourself, because afterwards we have the likes of Faith Kipyegon. She's doing a double today. She's doing the 5,000 meters and the 1,500 meters. So, will she also show us what she's capable of doing? And of course, you were awarding her yesterday, Faith Kipyegon.
Yes, I mean, they say when it's your time, there's absolutely no way that anyone can take that. I would say the month of June, as being on the panel of selecting the Sports Personality Award, the Sports Journalists Association of Kenya, you can say Faith Kipyegon basically did it. And back to the screens there, when you see how Kimeli and Simiyu Benyo really pushed themselves with about what at the corner there. I mean, it's just amazing. See how these athletes are taking their strides. And for Kimeli winning, and with someone coming in second, with strides as long as he is, I mean, that's such a remarkable finish, if you ask me.
And if you look at Kimeli, was already looking over his shoulder to see where Simiyu was. My surprise for today is Japan-based Bernard Kibet, who came in 3rd. Of course, this is a young man who's already shown us that he's capable of doing great things on the athletic circuit. He's shown that. And of course, we've done the 10,000 meters, and now it's back to the sprints.
That's basically what people are waiting for, you know. It's going to be about 10 to 11 seconds. And, you know, a lot of people basically will be thrilled by these, you know. I once got an opportunity way back. It was about the year 2012. I was in a place known as St. Mary's in Jamaica, and they were doing their national trials for the sprints. It's an amazing feeling. I mean, as compared to Kenya, whereby we just have a handful of people coming for the national trials. In other countries, the national trials is such a big event, especially the sprints, because it's such a short, you know, about 10, 11 seconds, but, you know, it creates a lot of emotions, and the preparations and everything that is put in from the journalists, the athletes, and the coaches. Such an event, and especially for Kenya, it means a lot now that we do have an athlete like Omanyala, and people are just waiting to see that. Can we have another athlete that can come and break the jinx? Can we have another athlete that can at least get Kenya
tactic gani ndio umeweza kuemploy saidu? Kulikuwa na Simiyu na Simiyu wanaenda mbio sana.
Yes, kweli nashukuru Mungu. Nashukuru my coaches kwa ile training ambayo tumefanya. Fikia kwa sasa at least I'm saying I'm going to be back. Because niliweza kupata injury kule, I think from January mpaka June. Iliweza kunisumbua sana. Ndipo maana mliona niliweza kwenda nyuma kwa races ambazo niliparticipate kama vile World Cross Country. So at least we have back to focus for this championship. Yes, because I know the race it will not going to be easy. We have to struggle to train and rest so that we can get energy to fight with Joshua Cheptegei, Jacob Kiplimo, and the guys from Ethiopia. We know we are not easy, but we are promising you we're going to do something this time around. We know we still have time to train. We train together. I know when we train together, we know we will improve a lot. So kuhusu race ya leo, I think haijakuwa rahisi vile. Ngawacha nimeweza kucontrol kuanzia, I think before at the half of the race, I've been controlling the pace and looking at each other, how is behaving. So I was increasing the speed just by step, so that will allow me to win the race.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Unaona finally hiyo medal itakuja nyumbani?
Yes, when we come together as 10,000 meters athletes, so I think the medal is possible this time around. Yes.
Uta double up here for 5,000 meters?
Yes, I'll be doubling up because, as you know, I have a wild card for 5,000, so maybe I'll be doubling the race. Okay. Yes. Thank
you so much. That was Nicholas Kimeli. Nicholas has been able to win today's race. He's saying that he had an injury that was nagging him, and now that he's back in shape, he's hoping that he will finally be able to deliver the elusive 10,000 meter final. We also joined by Daniel Simiu. So, Simiu has finished second, and he's also the Commonwealth Games champion. And we hope that he's coming to give us a brief interview right now.
First call for 100 meters, men semi-final 1 to report at the goal.
And we move towards Shadrach's favorite. You know, footballers love sprinting. And of course, it's the 100 meters. We have 2 semi-finals for the men. And I can see the track is ready. But then we hand over to Charity, who will be talking to the national champion over the 10,000 meters,
10,000
Daniel
meters
Simiyu.
trial. Simiyu, tumeona raundi hujaweka pace vile unaanzanga na mbio sana. Perhaps ni nini umebadilisha kwa training yako?
Let me say, as we grow, things change. Yeah, so I knew this is a long journey. So, and having Kimeli, he told me, hey, be patient, I drive the pace. Because he has the world card, he told me, be patient. We are going to make it. So I just relaxed the way he told me, and I followed the instructions because he is a senior athlete. So we work together, and we have come successful.
This is the second World Championships. How do you feel about it?
I feel happy. At least I pray to God to give me strength. This time round, I don't know, it's only God. Yeah.
Perhaps you tell us something a bit about your watch. How is it helping you in controlling your pace during the race?
Okay, my watch, I check because of the laps that I'm going, the pace of the lap, and that's helped a lot. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Unaona hiyo medal imetukataa ya 10,000 for a long time now. Do you think that you're going to finally get it?
I think if we work hard, be together in a group, I think we are going to make something good. We cannot promise anything, but let God lead.
Thank you so much. That one was Daniel Simiyu. Daniel Simiyu won the Commonwealth Games. He's now looking forward to making it to his second time representing Team Kenya at the World Championships. He's also a new athlete and he's quite changed a lot with his tactic in racing. Simiyu, we thank you so much. All the best in Team Kenya. Okay, thank you so much. From here at the mixed zone, back to you, to Greg.
Thank you, Charity. Charity has been speaking to Daniel Simiyu, who emerged second in the 10,000 meters, and of course the winner of the race, Nicholas Kimeli, who of course will be representing the country in Budapest. Of course, we'll be looking at the list later on, and of course with the timings also. But then we are into the 100 meters, 2 semi-finals to look forward to. In semi-final number 1, expect the likes of Moses Wasike Onyango, Boniface Ontunga Mweresa. This is a man who has blistering pace rather. Samuel Chege Waweru, Hesbon Oduor of Kenya Prisons. I tell you, this boy can run. This boy can run. Yeah, it's only. You know what happens here? It's, will they catch up with Africa's fastest man?
When we talk about sprints right now in Kenya, we're talking about Ferdinand Omanyala. And but for me, if you ask me, it's a high time we did develop our athletes into good sprinters. And it all starts from the primary schools. When you have good primary school games, good secondary school games, whereby these coaches can go and actually spot their athletes. Let's go to universities. They will give you scholarships and come run for them. So when you have college games that are very, very good and strong, it makes it easier for a national team coach or maybe for the forces to hire you and have these individual athletes registering for such competitions through the meets and qualifying for the national trials. And then we can say, wow, we do have Ferdinand Omanyala, but we do have someone else who can push Omanyala. Because at the end of it all, as a country, we do need these medals. You know, we cannot be celebrating Omanyala, and Omanyala right now is what, 27 years old. So by the time he hits 30, without that gold medal for Kenya, it will be difficult for him to bring a gold medal for Kenya. You can only wish Omanyala was about 21, 22 years old. You know, when he was at that particular age, you can say, wow, he'll be keeping on trying for the next 4 years. Probably he'll get us a gold. But at 27 years, and he hasn't brought that gold, we should be asking ourselves question, what if he doesn't bring gold, and by the end of the time, he'll be retiring without that gold? Do we have any other person that can take over the mantle? And as you can see, we have Janos Musa Monchari. This guy is from Seychelles. The record best of 10 seconds, about 89. And Isaac Kundo Manu Omurwa, the young lad I was talking about, the younger brother to Omanyala. I watched him last year at the Kenya National School Games. He finished third. He has a personal best of 10.61. Boniface Ontuga Mweresa. And this is the guy that I'll be talking about, because remember, during the 2012 Olympics in the UK in London, though he did not qualify, but in 2017 IAAF World Relays, he won in Bahamas. So he's such a good athlete that you can look at. We also have Samuel Chege Waweru, we have Hesbon Oduro Cheng, and Moses Wasiko Onyango. I think the man to beat here will be Boniface Ontuga Mweresa.
Boniface Ontuga Mweresa, of course, will be running in lane number 4. Watch out for the second fastest man in the field, of course, Hesbon Oduro Chieng of Prisons. This man from Seychelles, I watched him here 2 weeks ago, and he looked really, really impressive in the 100 meters. He came to try out here. And what makes it the championships special is the ability to attract athletes from other countries to come and try out with the local lads, and this has really, really improved the quality of, let's say, the sprints, and of course the middle distances. We have the likes of Shida Lenyi from Uganda, who will also be watching later on, taking part in the 200 meters. We are talking about the likes of Benson Okot, some of these athletes who also come to Kenya to compete here. We had South Africans coming in the country to try out during the national championships, which is a bronze label championship recognized by the World Athletics, and that shows you that Kenya has made strides to ensure that they improve the quality of athletics in the country. But talk about that, we also have the Youth Commonwealth Games that trials that will be happening later on. But first of all, we have to ensure that we have a proper team for Budapest. We were discussing with some of the lads the other day about the possibilities of Kenya bringing gold, and they were telling me that, you know what, man, the women seem to be stronger than the men. I tend to disagree.
A lot of people think so, that the women's team, you know, with the monies that has been created by the likes of Faith Kipyegon, I mean, it's amazing. But all in all, for Kenyans, in as much as you can compare the two teams, both the women's and the men's, we all have to say that all in all, we need a very, very strong team that will bring Kenya gold medals. And that at the end of the day, all the coaches that will be down here, they'll be looking for that. And if we do fail, it goes back to the federation goes back to the coaches, and at large, how are we developing these athletes for them to bring back the lost glory that Kenya much desires?
Kenya much desires success both in the men and the women competitors at the World Championships. Just to take you through the start list for the first semi-final of the 100 meters, Boniface Mweresa will be in lane number 4. Samuel Chege will be in lane number 5. Moses Wasike Onyango, born on 22nd August 1994, will be in lane number 3. Hesbon Oduro Chieng of Kenya Prisons, the fastest man in the first semi-final, will be in lane number 6. And of course, Isaac Omurwa, the younger brother, the national junior champion over the 100 meters, he'll be running in lane number 7. And just back to the 10,000 meters, it seems like Kimeli and Simiu had one mission: ensure that each one of them qualified for Budapest. They were communicating. It wasn't about the number 1 and the number 2. It was about how do we make this happen? How do we see this one through?
Sometimes you feel like in these races, if I'm a good friend of years and you know, we have that chemistry together, we can be communicating on how to finish these races. So, I mean, it's good for them to see that they have a good chemistry, they have a good relationship. So basically, it's something that has been dropping off the field. So when it comes to on the field, we can be seeing how good they are working together, and we can only hope that in Budapest they'll work together and bring Kenya the much desired medals.
The much desired medals in the 10,000 meters, which has been elusive, by the way, for quite a while. And you can see the two athletes smiling all the way towards the finish line. And Kimeli was like, man, I've done this, relax, I'm celebrating just before I cross the tape. Simi was also like, I'm the national champion, I've done this. And each one of them knew that, hey, Hungary, here we come. We're boarding the plane and ensure that Kenya wins this one. And of course, coming in third place was Bernard Kibet, based in Japan. The young man born in 1999, coming in third, and Kibiwot Kandie, the former national champion over the 10,000 meters, coming in fourth. He started really well. Towards the halfway, let's say the second, or the 12th or the 13th lap, Kibiwot Kandie was so much in contention. Then all of a sudden, he just fell back. I think it might be an issue with injury or something, because that was unlike this KDF man.
Pretty much you can say that, but sometimes there's a lot that you can talk about when you talk about these athletes, with their preparations, with their adaptation in different weathers. And sometimes I feel like it is good for athletes to come and experience that weather, acclimatize themselves, acclimatize with the terrain and everything, for about maybe 4 or 3 days for them to be able to compete properly. But sometimes these athletes, they just come from there. Most of them, they're training in Uasin Gishu country, Eldoret and South Catskill places. And you might realize that they just got here in the morning. They just got here in the morning, and it's about, what, a couple of hours rest, get a massage, and they're on the track.
They say an athlete is always ready no matter what, and we'll be waiting to see whatever happens in the rest of the races. Remember, at around 2:20 p.m., because right now we are talking about 1:45, Beatrice Chebet, Faith Kipyegon, Lilian Kasait, Renge Rook, Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi, Agnes Jebet, Grace Lobiach, Margaret Akidor, Sela Jepliting. These are some of the athletes that will be taking part in the 5,000 meters. Remember, the world record is home with Faith Kipyegon, who was named the SJAC LG Player of the Sportswoman of the Month, rather the Sports Personality of the Month, and she was awarded this yesterday in E10. She'll be competing in the 5,000 meters, and it's advantage to the home crowd. They'll want to see her. They've not seen her ever since she ran in the 5,000 meters at the Kip Keino Classic a couple of months ago. She's back at home with a world record of 14 minutes, 5.20 seconds. And also, it is a world lead. And she broke those two records, the 1,500 meter record. A week before, she broke the 5,000 meters record. Incredible.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the woman to see. When you talk about Faith Kipyegon, the world is looking at Faith Kipyegon, and trust me, a lot of athletes that are going to participate at the Budapest Games in Hungary, they are watching these live streams and listening to the commentary. They want to watch out on this great athlete, Faith Kipyegon. I mean, breaking 2 world records in a span of a week is not mean feat. I mean, that is something that other athletes will be jealous of. Other coaches will be jealous of her coach. That is something that's amazing, that has shocked the world.
Of course, she'll be one of the ladies to watch in Budapest, and also one of the athletes to watch in Budapest. We're talking about the 1,500 meters, which will also be happening later on. There's this man, Jacob Ingebrigtsen, who's just tearing the field apart. But we have the likes of former world champion Timothy Cheruiyot. Elijah Manango is also back. They want to wrestle that title from Ingebrigtsen. Do they stand a chance?
Pretty much, yes, they do have a chance, no matter how little they have. But to be honest with you, with Jacob Ingebrigtsen, I mean, this guy has been so much consistent. When you talk about Timothy Cheruiyot, it's been on and off. And Elijah Manangoy has been out for quite a while, remember, with this ban. So to muscle out someone like Jacob Ingebrigtsen, who's been consistent for the last, 4 years, it's gonna take some toll. It's gonna be something that really needs to be worked out, because you're talking about an athlete who's been consistent for the last 4 years. And he's been competitive. He's been performing. For Manangoy, yes, he's good, but he's been out for 2 years. For Cheruiyot, he's been on and off. So that is something that I can say, yes, they do have a chance, but very little chance.
Let's wait and see whatever happens when They take on the field in the 1,500 meters. As we await for the athletes to come out of the call room, I don't know. I wonder why it's taking quite a while. We're ready for the 100 meters first semi-final, and if at all we are to see Omurwa happen, it's going to happen right now. I would really love to see if the two Omurwa brothers make it to Budapest, the two of them. I don't know if it can happen, and maybe it's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe. But I think if it does happen, it will be something that will be so amazing, especially to their family. But it will also be something that maybe the journalists like me and you will be taking it to higher levels to see, wow, finally we do have brothers making it to finals in the sprints. It will be such an amazing thing. And I think if the younger man, Isaac Omurwa, will be making it, it will be advantageous to Kenya to have such a younger lad being able to make the national team for the World Championship. That means that for the coaches that are available, they do have someone to prepare for the future.
And of course, as we await for athletes to come out of the call room for the 100 meters semi-final number 1, there are also field events. And the other day I was talking to Julius Yego, an ardent Arsenal fan, of course, and he told me that he feels he's in better shape. He got new spikes for his trade, and he says that they help him propel towards throwing his longest throw in the javelin at the national championships. Do you feel that he has that spark to try something new this time around?
Pretty much it goes back to what I've been saying, that you see, when Julius Yego came so much hard on us, and the world was like, wow, we have this Kenyan guy, the YouTube sensational guy that has taught himself to throw javelin, and he's done so much well on the global stage. I think that was the time that Kenya would have realized that there is a niche here. They would have taken advantage of the gap and developed other athletes to take the mantle from Julius Yego. Now, when Julius Yego does not perform well, we don't have any other person that takes in that gap. That is the problem, and that is exactly what I'm trying to mention up, the same case that might happen with Ferdinand Omanyala. By now we should be having maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more athletes that can wrestle Ferdinand Omanyala out of that mantle. So by the time Ferdinand Omanyala will be bowing out of the stage, we'll be having a 24-year-old, a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old that is ready to take the stage by storm. And then we can say, wow, this guy is 20. So he can probably give Kenya medals for the next 10 years. So by the time he's getting to 30 and he'll be thinking of retirement, we'll be having that regenerational development age.
Talk about regeneration. Jamaica right now is struggling to find who can replace Bolt after his exploits since 2008 until 2017 when he lost that world title to the United States. You look at whatever is happening right now. Last year, I was covering the weekend meet, the second weekend meet of Athletics Kenya. It happened here at the Nyayo National Stadium. I happened to see a field. There were like 14 hits of the 100 meters. So you can imagine how many athletes those were. So I think the Omanyala mania has also made Kenyans realize that we can also do something in the short distances.
Yeah, we can do that. But my big question is, how are these athletes being prepared? Because you start at the hits, but when you have an amazing preparation that starts with having coaches in primary schools, having coaches in secondary schools, having coaches, elite coaches in colleges, I mean, the work will be so easy during the heats. When we do have these meets, we'll be having such an easy time knowing that, wow, I'm seeing at least, wow, about 4 or 5 athletes that can qualify for the national trial. So for me, it's something that can start at really at a young age. And right now we're seeing these athletes getting ready. Remember, it's the first semi-final that we're talking about of the 100 meters. We have Janos Musha Monchari. This guy is from Seychelles with a personal best of 10.89. The young lad that we're talking about, Isaac Kundu Omurwa, the younger brother to Ferdinand Omanyala Omurwa, has a personal best of 10.61. Bonfanson Tuga Moresa, an Olympian from Kenya Defense Forces, has a personal best of 10.37. Ask me, I'll tell you this is the man to beat. Samuel Chege Waweru of Kenya Defense Forces also lining up, has a personal best of 10.55. Then we do have Esbon Odoro Chieng from Kenya Prisons with a personal best of 10.47. And lastly, Moses Wasike Onyango from Western with a personal best of 10.66.
And that is the lineup for the first semi-final of the 100 meters. On your screens, that is Isaac Omurwa Kundu, the younger brother to Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala. He looks well built.
The guy from Seychelles, right? when you talk about sprints, it's all about beating the air. So you need a lot of muscles. I had an opportunity one day to train with Ferdinand Omanyala because I love the gym. Once I retired from competitive sports, I love to do some CrossFit. And that guy can squat. That guy can do some CrossFit exercises. So when it comes to bench press, when it comes to squats and everything, you do have to build some muscle that can beat the air.
You have to beat the air, of course, and of course chase the time. That is the most important thing. Will we have someone who can do something special this afternoon here at the Nyayo National Stadium? We are talking about the 100 meter semi-final number 1. That is Omuro for you. And there's the man from Seychelles. Look at him, well built. He wants to beat the air, as Shadrach says, and of course qualify for the finals. It will be happening here tomorrow. He was here 2 weeks ago. He decided to stay back and also try out. It's also very nice to see the guys from the ISLs come to Nairobi on high altitude to try out, because they say that sprints do well on low altitude. That is where you find athletes breaking records and posting very impressive times. But we've seen Ferdinand do a 9.77 here at in Nairobi at Kasarani, of course, during the second edition of the Kip Keino Classic.
Yeah, when you talk about sprints, you're talking about different weather conditions and how these athletes can adapt. But remember, when you go at the World Championships, things are different. All countries have different weather patterns, you know. Look at Hesbon Ochieng, the veteran right there. Samuel Chege Waweru there. I mean, look at how built these guys. That is the guy I was talking about, Albert Ontuga. I mean, it will be such a sensational guy. Isaac Kundu, such a young lad. I hope he does best. I hope he does well. Look at the guy from Seychelles, how built is it? Pure muscle, when you ask me.
Musa Kundu, that is Mweresa, Chege, Hesbon, and of course in lane number 8 is Moses Wasike. So that is the lineup for the 10,000 meters, and we are live from the Nyayo National Stadium.
Ladies and 6 athletes participating in this event.
Can feel the tension. You can see all these athletes, of course, they want that ticket to the final, and it all starts here, of course, with beating the wind. Who will make it to the for tomorrow's final? Can see the man from Seychelles. I think it's the man also to watch in this one. 10.88 coming into this one. Isaac Omurwa, Boniface Mweresa, Chege, Hesbon, the most experienced in this field, of course. And then there is Wasike, another youngster who's coming up really well.
Yes, Bono Cheng is such an experienced athlete. Look at him, well built. The guy, I mean, it's the guy. To me, if you ask me, this will be a mix of experience and the young lads who are trying to make it to the, to the podium finish.
So the start of the first semi-final of the 10,000, the 100 meters. Oh. What happened there? It's some false start. So who's taking an early shower here? So the officials are confirming to see if it's either the machine or an athlete who just went before the buzzer.
Remember back in the days, I can't remember the actual year, but when the legendary Usain Bolt got disqualified for this, I mean, it was the world was stunned. The world was stunned. Sometimes when you get these athletes on such a big stage like this and such things do happen, it can be all about tension. You know, everyone wants to go to Budapest. Everyone wants to go to Budapest. Everyone wants to make the team. And sometimes it's all about how calm the athlete can be in this storm.
Calm, and it's the last warning for all these sprinters. They've been told no one is going to take an early shower. So here we are for the start of the first semi-final of the 100 meters. Watch out for Boniface. Watch out for Hesbon. Watch out for Chege in lane number 5. And of course, the man from Seychelles. And there. Oh! This time round, I wonder if it's going to be a green card or someone is going home.
Yeah. I mean, for these athletes, sometimes, you know, they just can't soak in the pressure. And sometimes we used to hear that, you know, better late than never. That's why one of the strategies that they used might be the 30-year-old, Hesban Ocheng. Oh, my God. Hesban Ocheng, the veteran. Hesban Ocheng has to go for an early shower. This is someone 30 years old. Hesbon Ocheng, I think from KDF, has confirmed that he won't participate in this and has to take an early shower. Actually, Kenya Prisons. Hesbon Oduor Ocheng from Kenya Prisons.
He's taking an early shower. There are no second chances nowadays. When you're given that red card, it means that you have to go and pave way for the other athletes to compete. So lane number 6 will be empty as we have 5 athletes in this one, the first semi-final of the 100 meters. And off he goes smoothly, and watch out for Boniface Mueresa in lane number 3, and he comes in smoothly. And of course, Chege will come in second. It's 10.40 unofficial time. Boniface Mueresa of KDF has done it.
Of course, it had to be Boniface Mueresa. Like I said earlier on, he's the guy to beat Boniface Mueresa. I mean, what a sprint that has been. We were looking at the younger brother of Ferdinand Omanyala, but unfortunately, he really didn't come up with something constructive out of this. But Boniface Ontuga Mueresa, he's a specialist in 400 meters. Remember, was part of the 2012 Olympics in the UK team, but did not qualify for that. In 2017, IAAF World Relays champion in Bahamas. He's made it again here on this stage. So it will be Boniface Ontuga Mueresa carrying the day for that semi-final one.
Mueresa winning in a time of 10.40. An official time, of course. A lot of factors that have to be put in place to give us the real time. And watch out as Mueresa just after the buzzer. Look at him, the way he takes off, looks down, then when he's over the 30 meters, he decides, let me, you said, doing what? Beat the wind.
Yeah, he beat the wind, and for sprints, it's all about muscle. It's all about how you start, and it's all about height. Because I'll give you an example with, you know, athletes like Kelly, like Marcel Jacobs,
I don't know about
former
tomorrow,
champion Usain Bolt.
but I think
you know, strides do help them
still
as well,
pushing.
you know, so he's a tall guy,
not an impressive
longer
time, but
strides,
I hope tomorrow
but
I'm
also
running
very,
fast.
very muscular.
As we head over to hear what he has to say ahead of the finals. Charity,
I
take
can
it
say
away.
the training has been good. We're trying to push on. So we're hoping to run faster times. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Oh, welcome.
Hi, how are you? My name is Charity Wanja. What's your name?
I'm Janosh Moshiri. Yeah, I'm from Seychelles.
Perhaps coming to Rania today, what were you looking for?
Well, I'm coming here for training camp. It's been 2 weeks I've been here. Yeah, I'm coming to Kenya to improve my time so I can have a better time. Yeah.
Will this be your first time representing your team at the World Championships?
No, it's not the first time. But I hope I can go for another round. That will be good.
What's your prediction tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so whatever happen. All right.
All the best, thank you. That was Mwereza. Mwereza has been back after a long break. He was serving his anti-doping violation ban. And then we also have, he said that he doesn't know much about tomorrow, but he's hoping to post good times. And then we have an athlete from Seychelles. He came here to improve his time and also to do his training in Kenya. He's hoping that he's going to make it for Team Seychelles in the forthcoming trials. Back to you at the commentators' booth.
Thank you, Charity. Charity has been taking us through the interviews. And of course, the man in focus in lane number 4, the fastest man in Africa, the fastest man in the land, the man with the world lead time, of course, and the man who has accumulated most points in the Diamond League, Ferdinand Omanyala, in semi-final number 2.
What a guy. He's ranked first in Africa and 5th globally. Someone who's ranked number 5 in the world, coming from Kenya, is something that every single Kenya will take to a pride. Look at him, very, very muscular, someone that can beat the wind. I mean, definitely for me, he's the man to beat. I mean, we can talk about other athletes who will be joining Ferdinand Omanyala in Budapest for the World Championship. For Ferdinand, if I was Ferdinand Omanyala, I mean, the biggest challenge is now to conquer the global stage. Remember, he's 27 years old. He's not a younger guy. And at 27 years of age, with no particular gold medal at the global stage, is such a worry for Kenya. So we should be thinking of who else apart from Ferdinand Omanyala. He's the man to beat with 9.78 as his personal best.
Of course, that is his personal best this season. And of course, in lane number 2, Robinson Motende, the guy from Kenya Defense Forces, Wiseman Were, trying out for the first time in the 100 meters at this level. Remember, he's a hurdler. 2 weeks ago, he ran a time that qualified him, that made him qualify for the World Athletics Championships in Budapest. But that is Ferdinand Omanyala, of course, very confident, trying a little bit of some gimmicks here to see if he can actually beat the tension. Of course, he said that tension is a must for any athlete, and you look at that, that is Robinson Motende. And then in bib number 8, that is Robinson Motende. In lane number 3, of course, we are talking about Wiseman Were will be in lane number 7, beg your pardon, but then there is Daniel Kiviasi. Daniel Kiviasi is also a name to watch here. And then Stephen Onyango Odhiambo. So, 6 athletes in this one, the second semi-final of the 100 meters.
Ambaye ni mshiriki ama ni bingwa wa taifa wa mita 110 kuruka mionzi. Muda bora sekunde 10.70. Leni ya 6 ni Dan Kiviasi Asamba.
That is Dan Kiviasi, the man from Kenya Prison Service. And that is the man, Ferdinand Omanyala. Nice haircut.
That's the man to beat, Ferdinand Omanyala. I think the other guys that could probably go against him will be Wiseman Were Mohobe. and Daniel Kiviasi Asamba, together with Robinson Motende. Look at their times, but they are nowhere to match this guy, Ferdinand Omurwa's time this season.
So Motende will be running in lane number 2. So the second semi-final of the 100 meters, Wiseman Were in lane number 7, and of course Ferdinand Omanyala in his favorite lane, that is lane number 5. So who's going to beat the wind? And also we'll be looking at the time. Remember, this is the second and last semi-final of this one before we head over to the 5,000 meters. So what promises here? The 100 meters. And there it goes smoothly, and of course Wiseman Were coming out from the outside really well, but then Ferdinand Omanyala really confident, but then look out at Were coming in second. 10.09 is the time posted by Ferdinand Omanyala. Of course it's unofficial, but then Wiseman Were, the 400-meter hurdler, trying out in the 100 meters, and of course we can see he's finished second.
Of course the winner will always be Ferdinand Omanyala, you know, Africa's fastest man. But like I said, the person that can really come here in contention will be Wiseman Were Muhobe and Robinson Motende. They've really tried their best to try and push Ferdinand Omanyala. What a hit that has been.
Incredible scenes here at the Nyayo National Stadium. And of course we can see these athletes, everyone wants of course to qualify for the World Athletics Championships. Ferdinand Omanyala of course is in that plane as we speak, but then Wiseman Were, the surprise of the day, coming in second in the 100 meters. Remember, he's a specialist in the 400 meters hurdle, but look again at how Omanyala comes. Robinson Motende came off the blocks fast, but then fell out after the 30-meter mark, and that's where Omanyala came in and decided, let me take this one on the bull on the horns, and isn't across the way. But what happened to Motende? He was leading.
Yeah, but again, it's how you start, and after 10 meters, how well can you match up with the rest? I think for Ferdinand Omanyala, if you see his previous races, how he used to start, he used to get off the blocks for such at a very slow pace, and that's one of the reasons why he really did come out as stronger as now. I mean, for Motende, he started off well, but he can't pick up after 10 meters, you know. So that's something that's quite a worry. But I believe all these athletes, they'll go back to the drawing board and work it out with their coaches.
And of course, the 60-meter dashes in France really made Omanyala improve on his takeoff in the 100 meters. And he admitted that it was a very nice experience for him. And those are the official results. Ferdinand Omanyala 10.08. Winning that one. Wiseman Were Muhobe coming in second, 10.51. That's a huge gap. Of course, Stephen Onyango Odhiambo coming in third. Dan Kiviasi in fourth place. Stephen Otieno 10.72 and Robinson Motende 10.82. And now I hand you over to Charity, who's talking to the man himself, Ferdinand Omanyala.
That's Omanyala. Omanyala is saying that he's hoping to have a good run tomorrow, has his focus on the World Championship, and then he's going to be doing a Monaco Diamond League race in 2 weeks' time, also to gauge how far he is and to gauge his medal bracket hopes. From here, the mix zone will take you back to the commentary.
What's the next race? Women. For 5,000.
Riggs, niambia mafuta ni kiwi. Unataka kuchapa nayo? MGT. MGT kuna guest hapa hivi anataka kuwa interview. Sasa tunaenda live. Kuna guest hapa. Anatoka wapi? India. From India. Guinness record.
Yeah, Guinness Book of Record.
India. 72 hours. Non-stop.
Oh, Guinness record. Only Guinness record.
On the other side, ladies and gentlemen, just about to start the javelin women.
Yeah.
Sudani is the Guinness Book record holder for 72 hours marathon non-stop run. Perhaps tell us how do you achieve such how do you compete such a race?
One guy's records 50 hours, and in India, there's 72 Republic Day. So I run 72 hours non-stop run without sleeping, without eating. Just take liquid and energy drink, and they cover by 562 kilometer. Because of the one of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the India all the county cover by like 562 the county. So I run like 72 hours non-stop run. In the world, nobody can run 72 hours.
How did you prepare for it? And maybe you tell us about your support team.
Yeah, I prepare like almost 1 year, like sometime 20 hours, 30 hours, 56 hours, like that, and 6 hour full strongly diets, only liquids, and coach supportive, and the Guinness team record holder also they supporting. During the record, the CCTV cameras, timing ships, and everything. So the official record 2021 and 26 January Republic Day of India. And Omyala also, we are good friend, and always he inspiring me, support me, and motivation me. So that's, yeah.
Thank you so much, Sudani. Karibu Kenya. Okay, thank you. That is Sudani. He holds the 72-hour marathon run for the Guinness World Record. He's saying that he took about 1 year to prepare for the race.
5,000 meters women final. Quite a rich field of athletes here. Beatrice Chebet, 14 minutes 34.55. The world record holder Faith Kipyegon, 14 minutes 5.20 seconds. Lilian Kasait, Margaret Chelimo, Agnes Jebet, Grace Lobiach, Margaret Akidor, Sela Jepleting. They are the athletes to compete in this one.
I mean, look at the times also. When you talk about Beatrice Chebet from National Police Service, Faith Kipyegon, look at her. Double world breaker in just a week. The SJAC Sports Personality Month of June award winner. Amazing. This will be a cracker. We're also looking for other athletes. Like I said, Beatrice Chebet is right there with a personal best of 14, 34, 55. But of course, it will be Faith Kipyegon. Lilian Kasait is also here. This is all stars. I mean, and no wonder someone is arguing that the women's team that will represent Kenya in Budapest will be stronger than the men's team. With all these athletes that are lining up here, this is such an amazing lineup.
Yes, he's put it, and there we go, the start of these 5,000 meters. Faith Kipyegon out there for the first time ever since breaking that record in Paris. Of course, watch out for Beatrice Chepkoech in this one also. Margaret Akidor in bib number 110. Bib number 115 is Naomi Chapngeno. Sela Jepleting also in the lineup. So this promises to be a very, very competitive field. 9 athletes in this one. Of course, we expect fireworks. Beatrice Chepkoech also in this one. Faith Kipyegon leading the way. She likes taking the lead and, of course, control the races. I believe that's what she's going to do here. Watch out also for Lilian Kasait, the athlete from Kenya Prison Service. She's one of the athletes also to watch here. But then Faith Kipyegon who has the world lead and the world record, of course, broke the record that had lasted for close to a decade. Of course, we are talking about the record set in 2015. She came in and broke that record, posting a time of 14 minutes 5 seconds. And of course, she's here to try out to see if she can earn that ticket to Budapest. There she is in the lead alongside Caroline Nyaga. Not really Caroline Nyaga, but that's Faith Kipyegon. And now Chepngeno taking the early lead. Shadrach, this one quite slow, but then you realize that it's very, very tactical.
Of course, you cannot start like a sprint. When you have Lilian Kasait, Faith Kipyegon, and Beatrice Chebet available, it has to be tactical, just like you've said. And the woman to beat here will be Faith Kipyegon. Categorized as an individual, he has a personal belt of 14 minutes, 5 seconds, and 20 milliseconds. So that is the woman to beat. I think the other runners, Beatrice Chebet from National Police Service, Lilian Kasait from Kenya Prisons, also not forgetting Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi from Zurich, Switzerland, with a personal best of 14.2367, will be in contention for that.
Kipyegon seems to be issuing a few instructions to her competitors. Remember, when we see this happening, it means that there must be some pushing and shoving in the initial stages before it finally shapes up. And Faith Kipyegon seems to be communicating to some of these athletes, telling them that let's do this, because it seems to be a very, very close one. And you can see as they come to complete the second lap of this one.
We don't get to see that so many times right in Kenya, and here she is, twice world record holder now in a space of 1 week. She broke the 5,000 and 1,500 meters world record. She ran the 1,500 meters in 3 minutes.
Lilian Kasait, of course, with the time of 14 minutes 23.05 seconds, coming into this one. But still in the lead is Faith Kipyegon alongside Lilian Kasait, of course.
Lilian Kasait, Dengeru in first position.
We are looking for who will make the first move.
I mean, they're just kind of taking it slow at the moment, sizing each other up, getting the tactics done, before it heats up for the final pace, And this is where, by the second lap, you'll be realizing. And again, just like the 10,000 meters that we did, where boys were separated from men, I don't know how we can say it here, but the girls will be separated from the women.
It's a funny one, the girls being separated from the women. Lilian Kasait in the lead into the fifth lap of this one. Faith Kipyegon, of course, in second place. And of course, Naomi Chepngeno still hanging in there. All these 9 athletes sizing themselves up for this one. That is Lilian Kasait in the lead at the moment. On your right is the world record holder who's aiming for a double in Budapest, Faith Kipyegon. She looks to be really, really strong. But then watch out for Naomi Chepngeno in third place at the moment. Her long strides. But then do they have the endurance that will take them all the way? That's what matters in the 5,000 meters.
Pretty much you can say so, but look how they're taking each other. For the first two, you can say it's a neck-to-neck. Look at Faith Kipyegon and look at Kasait too. Kasait has some strides too. With these kind of races, at least you can talk about strides. That will help you with a good final kick, with a good final push. That strength will help you when you have strides.
I watched Faith Kipyegon in Paris. Her final kick is just out of this world. She has a really, really, really good kick when it comes to the latter stages. And I hope that she can replicate that here as she continues to size up with Lilian Kasait, who is currently leading, with Naomi in third place. It's still very, very close. I told you, when you come to such a level, you can see, it's clearly not easy to see notice the difference. You can see all these athletes still toe-to-toe, head-to-head, close to each other. Very, very tactical.
Yeah, it has to be tactical. Like you say, when you talk about tactical and a final kick, you've just mentioned how Faith Kipyegon has an amazing final kick. It reminds me in the 800 meters, when you talk about Mary Mera, see how she gets that final energy, pushes in. Way back, you remember how David Rudisha used to do it. But then when she goes at the global stage, in the 800 meters, there's a lady from the United States of America known as Athing Mu. I mean, that would be something else what are the global stage. Back to these races, when you talk about 5,000 meters, I mean, for Faith Kipyegon, it will be all about her. She's the woman to beat. But now, what about the global stage? That's what we're waiting as Kenyans.
All eyes on Faith Kipyegon, who's currently in the lead ahead of Lilian Kasait. That is number 1 and 2. Margaret Chelimo in third place at the moment. And this is going to be very, very interesting. It's really, really tough. Nobody wants to stay behind. 9 athletes, each one of them still in that leading pack. Nobody has taken a move. Remember, the world lead, of course, is 14 minutes 5.20 seconds, posted by the one and only Faith Kipyegon, who's currently in the lead.
Yeah, as expected, she's now in the lead. Kasait is a little bit dropping behind with about 2 meters apart. Look at that gap. But again, it depends with her stamina and endurance, because Faith Kipyegon looks comfortable in this. She doesn't look fatigued in any way. I mean, this might be an easy race for her, if you ask me.
That's all, of course, what you get when you're a world record holder, when you're a double world champion, a double Olympic champion. The level of confidence, of course, is always a notch higher than the rest.
And it's not all about confidence too. It's how well your body is prepared for that. I mean, it's very, very intense and for these women. And look at the weather, look at the psychological impact, look at how physical it's taking their toll. If your body is prepared well for this, you're going to take it. And I think for Faith Kipyegon, she's all going for this.
She's all going for this. And also coming in the picture is Margaret Akidor in the orange bib. She's also trying out to see if she can keep up with the likes of Kasait and Kipyegon, of course, as we head into this one. And you can see Kasait, she knows that if you give Kipyegon a chance to stretch that lead, then it might be very, very, very difficult to catch up with her. And that is Margaret Chelimo in third place at the moment. Slowly by slowly, it's becoming to stretch. The field is stretching little by bit by bit. And you can see some of these athletes starting to drop shoulders. It's catching up with them.
This is where the girls are being separated from the women, rather in comparison to boys being separated to men. I mean, the gap is completely clear right now. You talked about Margaret Akidor in the yellow bib. 21 years of age, Japan-based. Look at some of her accolades. You can just remember the 31st Nippon Sports Science University long-distance competition, and a woman from Japan coming to compete and trying to battle it out with the best in Kenya. I mean, it's such a tough competition for her.
Sintina Chepngeno also trying to keep up with the pace. It's really, really getting hot in here. Not hot because it's a hot weather. No, inside the field, of course, it's getting hot because these athletes have now started to become more and more competitive, trying out to size up each other and, of course, chase the world record holder, Faith Kipyegon, who looks really, really comfortable in first place. Lilian Kasait, they're trying hard to ensure that she stays with Kipyegon. I see they're really communicating. I think it's all about making sure that they see this done, they see this through very, very good tactics that have seen them dominate the world scene over the years.
This kind of races is all about tactics, and I mean, it depends with how well prepared with your coach, and sometimes it's a kind of say neck-to-neck kind of competition, but all along it depends with how good tactically you're prepared to come and finish it at the end of the day.
Kipyegon taking the outside lane at the moment. I think she's realized that staying on the inside she'll be predictable. She's taken the outside lane, communicating with Kasait and of course Margaret to ensure that none of them make trips the other. It all happens here. We've seen athletes being tripped on the track. I remember one time when Bremen Kipruto was tripped, and that by the eventual winner, Ezekiel Kemboi, in the steeplechase, and it denied Kenya a medal. And it's all about knowing what to do at what time. So it was a very unfortunate scene. But this one is one of its kind. It's already down to 3. The rest of the field has been separated, getting interesting by every second.
The pack has already been separated, and I think by now we should be knowing who will be the winners or the podium finishers. When you talk about Lilian Kasait Renguret, who's born on 3rd May 1997, such a distance runner, can be remembered in 2017 World Cross Country Championship, and is a former 3,000 meters World Under-18 champion and World Under-20 Championship silver medalist. I think they do have such an amazing chemistry with Faith Kipyegon, because the two seem to be communicating. And definitely for me, I see the podium finishers being among the two.
The oldest member in this park, Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi, born on 2nd of September 1993. She's in 3rd, of course, behind Kasait and Faith Kipyegon, and it seems to be almost decided with 3 laps to go. This will be very, very interesting. Let's wait and see if Faith can actually decide to do this on her own, or she'll decide to take it easy and, of course, wait for the others. Ultimately, we'll be looking forward to see who tries to match Faith.
She's the woman to beat. I mean, trust me, globally, people are watching this event, trying to see how she's performing. Her competitors in Budapest are watching this event because she's the woman to beat.
Lilian Kasait in 2nd place, of course, trying to ensure that she stays on toes with the world record holder over the 5,000 meters, Faith Kipyegon. So Margaret Chelimo falling further back, but still in comfortable 3rd place. This is going to be very, very interesting heading into the last 650 meters of this one. It's been a very, very exciting 5,000 meters, Shadrach.
Look at Faith Kipyegon and Kasai, the way they are going head to head. But look how comfortable they are even at the final stretch. It's just amazing how strong they are. This is just amazing for them.
The huge gap now opening as they head to the bell. It's not going to be a very, very fast time, but it's going to be spectacular. And of course, Faith Kipyegon showing the rest of the world that she is actually the queen of the middle distances. Right now, she's showing that she has what it takes to take the 5,000 meters. Shadrach, this is going to be very, very interesting, the last 200 meters.
I mean, the question is not about Faith Kipyegon winning it, because definitely she's going to win it. The world knows she's going to win it. But we should be asking ourselves as Kenyans, who else is taking the 2nd and 3rd position that can match up Faith Kipyegon's speed? That will help us in Budapest, Hungary as a nation.
Cutting the curve towards the home stretch is Faith Kipyegon. You can see how strong she is. She's not going to break the world record today, but she's going to post a very, very impressive time here at home. It's not going to be very fast, but Faith Kipyegon coming home to win the 5,000 meters. She'll be in the plane to Budapest. Lilian Kasai trying to come, but she's not going to get close to Kipyegon. Kipyegon finishes fast, 14:53.90. Kasai in 2nd, and of course, Margaret Chelimo, the oldest member in this team, coming in 3rd. So that is what's going to be in the 5,000 meters. Kasait coming in 2nd, just behind Kipyegon, and Faith Margaret Chelimo in 3rd in this 5,000 meters.
What an amazing race. Again, like I said, it should be not worrying Kenyans that Faith Kipyegon has already taken it. It should be worrying Kenyans that the 2nd and 3rd place, how close are they to Faith Kipyegon? Because that's all they need at the world records.
Faith Kipyegon, of course, confirming that she's going to represent the country in the 5,000 meters in Budapest, winning the national trials here at the Nyayo National Stadium. If you're joining us, remember this is day 1 of the trials for the World Athletics Championships happening here at the Nyayo National Stadium. We began at around 1 p.m. and of course we've now witness the fourth race of the day after the 10,000 meters, the two 100-meter semi-final for men, and of course the 5,000 meters, which has been won by Faith Kipyegon.
Yameweza kufanyika na kufurahisha wapenzi wa riadha, ingawa baridi naye imewasonga kabisa, lakini hali ndio hivyo. Muda huo ni wakati kabisa ambao umeweza kuandikishwa hapa nyumbani, dakika 14 sekunde 55.
As you await for Charity to speak to Faith Kipyegon, winner of the 5,000 meters. Of course, she's one of the athletes to watch in Budapest. We are waiting for Beatrice Chebet to run in this one, but I understand she won the Diamond League trophy, and that gives her a wild card to participate in the 5,000 meters in Budapest. So she wasn't present here today, but all along, this will be a very, very rich 5,000 meters lineup.
Thank you.
And I'll be handing over to Charity to speak to the lady of the moment, Faith Kipyegon.
Nimefurahi sana, nimeweza kuwin national trials. Sikuwa natarajia naweza win, but nimeprepare vizuri. Nilikuwa najua kila kitu ni possible. Venye nilienda Paris, nikakimbia 5,000, nikakimbia world record, na haikuwa expectation yangu, but leo nimefurahi, nimeweza kuwin. Na kwenda forward naweza enda ni double Budapest. Sija decide yet, but of course venye nimekimbia leo ninaenda ku double. Yes. Siwezi sema anything about podium, but my focus is 1,500 to defend my title, of course. 5,000 ni additional race for me. Naenda kukimbia nione what is possible kama Paris. Yes. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Asante sana. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. This one. Yeah. Goes with this. Oh my God. For you, my dear. Oh my God. Yes, this is beautiful.
It's done by a lady. It's done by a lady.
Oh
a lady called Maggie.
And she wants you to sign. Oh, yes.
We wanted you to sign this, which we are keeping in our society.
Oh my God, can we do it after maybe? Do you know a portrait? Oh, this is beautiful. Yes. Oh, wow.
Can you sign, my dear?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I will sign it for you, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Help her, we need her somewhere.
Nishike hii.
Yeah, good.
Oh. Wow.
No, kuna mei.
Ni admire. Unaona ni beautiful. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Guys.
Sign once.
Oh.
Sign.
We are waiting for the media, please.
Sign.
Acha nikushikie.
Nishikie.
Wewe ni kushoto? Wololo.
Umepata sasa. Haya, sign pale kwa namba.
Oh.
Kuna maua pia nyuma yako.
Hey.
Kuja hapa.
This is you and maua.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, asante sana. Thank you. Yeah. Ziko kwa bag.
No, interview inakuja.
She needs to put something warm.
Basi wapi DJ unaweza kuendelea. DJ.
I mean, look at how Faith Kipyegon is just doing it. What a record breaker. Kasait on her shoulders, but I think it's just all about communication. It's all about that chemistry, getting it down together. As Kenyans, we can only hope that this will be done also at Budapest in Hungary for the World Championships. What an amazing race. On the commentary booth, my name is Shadrack Kandenga Odinga. I'm with Gregory Mulemi, and you can be streamed. We are streaming this live on the Athletics Kenya Facebook page. And
attitude iko juu kiasi, and maybe that's the reason why I didn't make to learn my personal best today. Yeah, but nitaendelea kutrain, ni focus on the coming events until I get to whatever I want. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gateri. All the best in the forthcoming race. We first started our interview with Faith Chepngetich, the 5,000 and 1,500 meters record holder. She said that after running today at a high altitude area, she is going to double up in the 5,000 and 1,500 meters race at Budapest, and she's hoping for a good medal finish. She also received some gifts from fans and also signed a portrait.
This
and
shows
then we
how
also have
resilient she can be, and she just has bounced back from that and made it to the national team. Was an amazing race it has been.
Coming back from such a scenario to book a place to represent your country in any global event is an amazing feat, and it just shows you the resilience and the determination in this athlete. But that's Faith Kipyegon crossing the finishing line in 14 minutes 53 seconds, just ahead of Kasait, and you could see how jubilant they were after crossing that, and that tells you that the harmony that is there. Maybe that's why many are predicting more medals from the women than men in Budapest. But all in all, it's Faith Kipyegon who's just shown the way, and she's shown us that she's capable of doing a double in Budapest. Faith Kipyegon, of course, emerging victorious in the 5,000 women final in 14 minutes 53.90 seconds, ahead of Lilian Kasait Rengerut, 14 minutes 56.50. Margaret Chelimo, 15 minutes 7.49 seconds. Cynthia Chepngeno, 15 minutes 17.56 seconds. She came in fourth with Naomi Chepngeno, who led at one point 15:17.65. Joy Cheptoek of Uganda, 15:24.88 is the time she posted to finish sixth, ahead of Caroline Nyaga, who disappointingly finished seventh in 15 minutes 33.75, and Margaret Akidor, who led at some points also, finishing in 8th place in 15 minutes 38.83 seconds. So those are the results of the 5,000 meters women final. Look into the qualification standard time for the ladies is 14 minutes 57 seconds for the World Championship. So quite a challenge here for some of these athletes, and we'll wait to see whatever happens. But interestingly, Beatrice Chebet was supposed to take part in the 5,000 meters women. She won the Diamond League trophy and got a wild card to represent the country in Budapest. So at least we have yet another pedigree athlete in Budapest in this one.
Yeah, it kind of raises eyebrows, you know. I mean, having such a big name, but at the end of the day, it's how you perform against the elite of the world. So having Beatrice Chebet, having Faith Kipyegon, having Lilian Kasait is a boost for Kenyans, because we have these big names that have performed before on global stage. But again, it will depend on how the opponents at the global stage would have been preparing themselves. And it goes down to the wire if Kenya will provide a medal for us in that particular category.
Of course, we'll be waiting to see whatever happens there. Remember, we also have field close to getting that.
I think I can take a look at Laban Kipkorir and also Emmanuel Ryan. I mean, from the look of things, they haven't done that bad with most of these guys coming from the Kenya Defence Forces, because you're looking at Laban Kipkorir, the only one coming out of the Kenya Defence Forces is from the South Rift. Kelvin Sawe Tauta, Kenya Defence Forces. Zablon Ekale Kwam, Kenya Defence Forces. William Ryan the same, with an exception of Emmanuel Mutua from Kenya Police Service. But all in all, it comes down to the wire on how they can push themselves to beat that 45-second mark and qualify for Budapest.
And just a confirmation of the athletes to compete in this one. In lane number 3 is a former rugby player, Collins Omaya Gishana, was captain for Team Kenya at the Africa Athletics Championships held last year, where Kenya scooped a lot of medals. So he'll be competing in lane number 3 alongside Kevin Sawe Tauta. Zablon Ekwam, I think he's the fastest coming into this one. And of course, Laban Kipkorir, Emmanuel Mutua, and Kun War Liem of South Sudan. But then I look at Collins, giving him a little bit of mileage. Could it be the frustration at the rugby union, or it was just about, let me just try and change course? Because he started it, and then all of a sudden we've seen a couple of athletes decide, okay, let me decamp the ball game and go to the track.
I mean, we can say that's the beauty of athletics. I mean, you're going to find maybe 1 or 2 athletes that are multi-talented. I once interviewed Ferdinand Omanyala, and he told me he started with rugby too. I remember back in the days when I used to play football, there was a guy that was a very, very good striker that also played for FC Leopards. It was called Boniface, I'm forgetting his name, but he was a very, very good rugby player too. So we're going to find the guys that are multi-talented. Boniface Maruti, yeah, Bonaventure Maruti. Bonaventure Maruti was a rugby player, and look how he excelled both at rugby and both in football. So you're going to find these kind of athletes that can excel in both fields. But it just takes a little bit of a niche to try and adapt to a particular event.
45.00 is the time required. Remember, all these athletes almost attain the qualification time for Budapest. Collins Omai coming into this one, his personal best, 45.19 seconds. So he still has a lot of work to do in this one. Kevin Tauta, his personal best, 48.80. Zablon Ekwam, the young man born in 1997, 45.47. And then Laban Kipkorir, 46.15 is his best time. Not really impressive, but he needs to improve on that. He posted that 46.15 here 2 weeks ago. So it seems that he is on an upward curve. And then we have Emmanuel Mutua, 46.31. And then the man from South Sudan, the refugee athlete, Kur Wam Liem, 48.35, posted here 2 weeks ago. He's back here to try out and see if he can qualify for Budapest. Looking at this, the personal best, of course, goes to Collins Omai. He has the fastest time, not this year. This year, his season best is 47.20. So he's fallen a little bit back on this one, and he has to make sure that he gets his boots, or rather, the spikes, back.
Everything has to go down to this, because at the end of the day you have to ask yourself, why are you doing this? You are doing this for the sake of patriotism, for the sake of representing your country. Every single athlete in his career wants to represent the country at one level or another. So getting to the World Championships in Budapest is a dream for all these athletes. For me, yes, you might have a season best and a personal best, but at the end of the day, it all depends on how you're going to perform here today.
And of course, Wide Van Niekerk still holds the world record, 43.03 seconds. And that is what every athlete wants to beat, especially in the 400 meters. And if an athlete wants to qualify for the final, the first 3 places, of course, and of course the 2 fastest losers. So this promises to be a race that everyone will be looking forward to finishing in the first 3 positions.
Pretty much you can say so. We just have to wait and see who these athletes will be. I mean, they pretty much know each other, looking at the screens. They know each other and they're saying hi to each other. But you know, this has to end in the next couple of minutes when they take on each other.
for the start of this one. Remember, we have 5 minutes to go before this one kicks off. So if you're joining us, we are live from the Nyayo National Stadium.
Chairman, perhaps this time round tomorrow there is a shorter program. Perhaps what happened with the organization?
The shorter program is because of the fact that we have a few athletes because of invitation. The reason is that we wanted to make sure that those athletes who are competing have met all the requirements for World Championship. And that primary requirement is that an athlete that is allowed to compete here must have undergone one test out of competition, so that now they will not have problems when they have been selected. So I think we don't have the usual number of athletes that compete. It is restricted to only those who have actually met all those conditions. You have seen the presence of AIU here and ADAC, and every athlete that is competing was supposed to pick up their own numbers individually, and then immediately after that being tested before competing. That has happened, and you can see now that quite a number, not so many athletes have turned up.
Actually, congratulations about that. We've seen a lot of athletes violating the anti-doping violation, violation rules being caught. We recommend you for the good work that you've been doing.
Number 8, so we'll have Colin Somae, Kelvin in lane number 3, Kelvin Tauta in lane number 4, Zablon Ekal Ekwam in lane number 5, Laban Kipkori in lane number 6, and Emmanuel Mutua, born in 2002, the youngest member of this group of athletes, running in lane number 7. So we're ready for the start of the 400 meters. Smoothly we go, and of course in lane number 5, Zablon Ekwam comes out of the blocks really nicely, and you can see he's doing what he did here 2 weeks ago, and he's taken the lead earlier on, heading into the last 200 meters. And you can watch out of this young man Ekwam coming out very strongly in lane number 5. Zablon Ekwam stretching that lead. It's really confident. We are just looking at the time. Can he really try and push that time? It's 45.79. An official time, of course, will be confirming that one. But this young man, Ekwam, he's just shown that he has what it takes at least to beat the... It will be difficult, but then 45.97 in this altitude, not really bad.
I mean, the time to beat was 45 seconds, and he's just missed it by some milliseconds. I mean, what a race it has been. He's really pushed himself to the wire and trying to make it 45.79. I mean, that's an amazing race. If you ask me, he's done extremely good under these conditions.
That's the first semi-final of the 400 meters, of course. Zablon Ekwam winning that one in a time of 45.75. It's unofficial, of course, because we also have to get the confirmations of the times posted here. That was the first semi-final of the 400 meters. And of course, we'll be looking at who is in semi-final number 2.
400 meters. 400 meters women.
Faith Kipyegon on the right side, waving to the crowd. Of course, she's elated with the reception she's gotten here. So in the second semi-final, Shadrach.
Yeah, the second semi-final. It's gonna be amazing. We're looking at Elkana Kiprotich Chemelil with the personal best. Zablon Ekale, first of all, have to look for the semi-final hit one. Look at the screens. He's done amazingly well. 45.77. Kelvin Sawi Tauta coming in second at 46.32. Laban Kipkorir coming in at third place, 47.01. Emmanuel Mutua, 47.14. Collins Omae Gichana, the former rugby player, finishing last or second last at 48.14. While Kun War Liem, the guy from South Sudan, did not really have an impact at this. That has been the semi-final hit one. As we wait there for the semi-final hit two, we'll be looking at Elkana Kiprotich.
We're expecting Botswana, Nigeria, but unfortunately they have not come. So we're going just to go concentrate in the 400 flat, but we're hoping for the best. We shall be there in the World Champs. Already we've qualified by 4x4, 4x4 mix. So definitely, you know, I'm the national champ, so I have to be in the Budapest. Yeah.
Thank you, all the best.
Thank you a lot, and nashukuru.
That is
Doping Agency of Kenya. Let's appreciate them. They're here to make sure that everybody in the sport stays clean, runs clean, to make the sport clean as possible. That is the organization that was formed by the Kenyan government to make sure.
Back to the second semi-final of the 400 meters. On your screen is Samuel Toili, tidying up himself, of course, fixing the bibs, the bib number. And then lane number 7, of course, is Jared Momanyi. Toili being the youngest member in this second semi-final, born on 28th of June 2005. And that's the lineup. Elkana Kiprotich Chemelil, 46.36 is season best coming into this one. Kennedy Kimeu Mutoka, 46.09. The fastest man in the second semi-final is Boniface Mueres out on Tuga, of course, 45.73. And then the young Samuel Toili, 46.18. And Jared Nyambweke Momanyi, his personal best, of course, 45.13. Hosted last year at the Kasarani Stadium during the trials for the Olympics. So those are the participants in the men's 400 meters semi-final number 2.
So 400 meters semi-finals number 2.
Afterwards, we'll have the women 400 meters. It will be a final, I'm told. The 400 meters women will be a final. So who will catch up with Mary Mora? But first of all, Elkana Kiprotich, Kennedy Kimeu, Boniface Tuga Mueresa, Samuel Toili, and of course Jared Nyambweke Momanyi. And that's very, very good from Jared Momanyi, taking the early lead. But then watch out for Mueresa, in lane number 5. Taking the lead for the first time, coming on the inside is Mweresa. Momanyi on the outside. Kennedy Kimeu taking that bend nicely, but it's Kimeu in the lead, Mweresa in second, and of course Momanyi in third. It is Mweresa showing what he's made of. Toili falling a little bit behind, but then watch out for Kimeli. But Mweresa will be taking this one home. It's 45.83.
Definitely will be the man to beat. Remember, during the 100-meter hits, I earlier mentioned it that this guy is a former Olympics
kick. Toili was leading, the young man, perhaps inexperience, came through and played part in him dropping further back. Momanyi with his experience fell into third, but then coming into the bend towards the home stretch, Mweresa decided this is my specialty, this is where I want to be, and took the front, coming in really strongly. Toili, of course, falling way back. But then on the outside, Kimeli realized that he had a chance. On the home stretch, you could see Kimeli decided, let me take this head on. He tried pushing Mweresa, but then look at the focus in Mweresa's face. Look at his determination. He was looking at the clock. He knew that he had what it takes to make it to the final, and he just did that in style. Toili falling farther back, and the fastest man coming into this one, Momanyi, just beat him towards the end. But in the end, of course, it was Mweresa winning with Kimeli finishing second in lane number 4.
What a race it has been. I mean, Ontuga definitely was the man to beat Boniface Ontuga Mweresa. I mean, we just wish him well. At least if he can qualify for 2 events in Budapest, Hungary, it will be a plus for him personally and also for Kenya.
Looking forward to Otunga versus Zablon Ekwam tomorrow, of course, in the final. As also, we are waiting for the start of the 400 meters women final. Rose Ihisia Uharo should be running in lane number 1. Veronica Kamumbe Mutua, Millicent Ndoro, Marcio Dongo Kech, Mary Mora, who's aiming to do a double in Budapest, will be running in lane number 5. Shida Lenyo of Uganda, she's been here. She knows this stuff really well. She knows the track, and she knows what to do. Qualified in a time of 52.11 seconds. And of course, there's Mary Nyatichi Thomas, another fast athlete also coming in. Very experienced. And of course, Mercy Chebet, who's coming in lane number 8. So, a couple of minutes before we see the ladies come out of the dugout for the 400 meters women final. Witnessed the 5,000 meters women final where Faith Kipyegon won. We've witnessed the 100 meters both for the men. For the men, both semi-finals. And I understand the 2 Omuruas will be in the finals tomorrow.
That is the elder Omurua and the younger Omurua. I mean, it will be such a great event, but I think, of course, all eyes will be on the Ferdinand Omanyala Omurua, the older Omurua. I mean, for the younger lad, it's just an experience he's gaining, such an exposure, such an event for him. Because remember, the same final will also be having Boniface Ontuga Mweresa. So it depends on him, how prepared is he to try and beat that final time and make it to the team to Budapest. If he does make the team to Budapest, it will be such an amazing experience for him. And